about 3 years ago, you were given the news that you were diagnosed with leukemia.
Right.
What was the date? I mean, you know it.
The date was, I think it was after we played Kansas at home. So it had to be like January 4th.
So right around 3 years ago today.
Yeah, I literally, it came up on my phone because I had a few videos of just of the time and when I changed, and I was like, wow, like literally 3 years ago, I couldn't walk, and I was like 50 pounds lighter, and it was crazy. Yeah, it was surreal.
Take me through what it was like. The doctor, when you hear the news, are you with your family at that point? What was that like,
Um,
and what's your reaction?
I was in Austin, and we had just had practice, and I got blood drawn the day before, and I was in practice, and I remember like going through just some normal warm up drills, and I was exhausted, like I was gonna pass out, and the doctor called me in the next morning, and they were like, "We got your results back. It came back as leukemia." And when I heard that, I was like, I'm like cancer, and I was just in shock, and I just broke out crying. And then I called my dad after that, and my dad was telling me like he couldn't believe it. He didn't understand what was going on. And then from there, we just felt like we needed to just take the next course of action, you know, find the best medical care I can possibly get. And, fortunately enough, I was able to find the best, healthcare. But it was really a shocking moment for us because we didn't know where it came from. I knew I was feeling under the weather, but we didn't know it was this severe. And, it was just challenging.
Andrew, when I was in school, I tore my ACL twice in 6 months, and compared to you, that's not anything. Like you've certainly been through way more than that. But I remember when I was going through that, there was a couple times where I was like, man, I don't know if I'll ever play again. Like,
Right.
like did you have a moment like that where you were like, dude, this just might not happen?
Yeah, I've had a lot of moments, especially, when I started to become healthy again, and I was shooting like in the gym, and I was like, wow, like I'm seeing this. How am I ever going to be able to get to this competitive level again? And then there's been times last year playing, I didn't have as best of games as possible. I questioned myself on my abilities to actually play this game because physically I couldn't impose my will like I wanted to, like others can, who are physically gifted. And sometimes I reminisce on the times on how I was that physically gifted kid where I was lightning fast, athletic, strong, and to where like I was the mismatch on the court. So I've learned to adjust, and then I just accepted my faith that I am who I am. I'm the player I am now. Make the best of it, and try not to dwell on it. Try to be the best version of myself as I can now. So it's been hard, and it's just a continuous battle of just knowing myself, believing in myself, and trusting in my craft.
It's funny you say that because I remember when I came back, I was terrible for like November, December. Like I was really bad. Like I was really, really bad. And I remember I had one night where I had this awful game, missed a game winner against Michigan, and I was like 2 for 15 from the field. My dad actually gave my roommate his credit card and goes, "Go get Rob a steak at the steakhouse in West Lafayette and make him feel better." And dude, I totally get it, man. I know 100% how you feel where you're like, man, my body used to do this and it used to come easy. And now, I'm just, it's a really tough thing. So I really respect you, man, for what you've been through. I think it's just a phenomenal story, and it really shows your character, man. So from afar, I've been very proud of you for what you've been through.
I appreciate it.
Likewise. And, the part that I think talking to so many people around you, Andrew, that I've heard over through this is how much you've grown and matured, right? Like listen, I don't know. I don't want to speak for you here, but I assume you thought you were one and done coming in.
I did when I was a freshman. Yeah, I definitely did.
Right?
Thought I was good enough to go test my talents in the NBA. Yeah.
How has this whole everything you've been through? How has it made you a different person?
I'm more aware. I think I've become a lot more wiser. I tend to ask more questions. I want to have a clear understanding of my options, the route that I need to go, and then learn to be coachable, learn from, those, like my coaches, all the coaching staff, and learn to really utilize my resources to the best of my ability, and, really try to find other ways to benefit others instead of myself. I became a lot more selfless. I became more aware of my surroundings and what's going on in the world. So, like, over time, as I've gotten older, I've gotten more wiser and more, you know, taking more passion for things outside of basketball. Because, I used to only think of basketball, that's who I am. And now I have like a more broader perspective of, how others may be feeling, how certain diseases like cancer or even COVID has affected other people's families. So that having that type of awareness and wanting to make change, genuine change to the structure and try to give health to those who can't help themselves.
It's very cool. Very, very cool. And I know your dad was a big inspiration for you throughout all this, right? I mean, for people that don't know, you guys were in a car accident when you were in the second grade?
Yeah, I was in third grade.
Third grade. Third grade, the car flipped. Mm-hmm. You and your sister were okay, but your dad was paralyzed from the waist down. How much did you draw that inspiration? And I guess, how did he handle the whole situation with you in terms of trying to keep you motivated, not feeling sorry for yourself?
Yeah, because like I've watched him and I watched how he battled through and persevered through his challenges. And, from being a man who could walk and talk and do on his own to having to be in a wheelchair is, kind of a life-changing experience. And you kind of learn how to deal and cope with these situations and stay happy and try to remain positive. And he always told me to keep a positive mindset, keep my goals and my missions in front of my mind and just enjoy each day getting better. Enjoy each day, take it as it is. Don't worry about the future or the past. Just enjoy the moment, live in the moment, and just try to make the best of your situation.
Hard to feel sorry for yourself, Andrew, when you saw what he's gone through?
Yeah, because I seen what he's gone through. Then I also see the stress that it's put on my mother and, the entire family. So my situation was severe, but it's just part of our genes and our, I grew up watching perseverance through my mother, my father. It was something that I grew up watching. And so they were able to teach me in a way to keep my mindset strong for the world, because it's not easy. The world is not just a straight path to success. There's always twists, turns, and adversity that one must go through in order to achieve that success. And just my story just happens to be different, but there's a lot of people with other significant stories as well and that had persevered through it. So I'm just going through the challenges, trying to learn from each, not mistake, but lesson that I was able to learn, and just trust God, trust my faith, and, continue to do what I need to do.